Again, I'll have a look. अगर कुछ भी गड़बड़ हुआ तो मेरे क्लास में खाना पकाते वक्त ये रहता उधर. Okay. Okay. Hello, good afternoon, students. Welcome back to Botany second year class. So till now we have finished the one LAQ from the 13th and the 14th chapter. Then we'll go with we have finished the 13th chapter and the 12th chapter SAQs. Okay, and the 9th chapter SAQs also we have finished. That is the genetics part also we have done. All the SAQs we have finished. That means 2 SAQs you can easily give the answers. And I'm saying the minimum number. Actually, it's 3 SAQs what I have to say. But by chance, if they have not given the SAQ from the 13th chapter, then let it be. Then it's the 2 SAQs we are getting anyway. Okay. And now comes, and already we have finished the 7th and the 8th chapter. That is the bacteria and the virus SAQs and the VSAQs. So like that, 3 SAQs we have finished. That means 3 4s are 12 plus 8 marks has to, damn sure we need to get it from the LAQs. That is 20 here only finished. And from all these chapters, if you have done the VSAQs, that is the 7th and the 8th chapter, 1 VSAQ we will get, that is the 2 marks from there. And the 12th chapter, 1 VSAQ we will get. And the 14th chapter, 1 VSAQ we will get. Okay, like that, 3 VSAQs. And the 9th chapter, 1 VSAQ, 4 VSAQs. That means 4 to the 8. 20 plus 8, 28. Easily pass, isn't it? So now we are going with the another unit. That is the physiology unit, where 6 chapters are there for us in that unit. And in that, we'll get 4 SAQs. So in those 4 SAQs also, we can say at least 2 SAQs, we can get it from the 1, 2, and the 3 chapters. That is the transportation in plants and the enzymes, micronutrients in the plants, as well as the enzymes chapter. 3 chapters, we will get 2 SAQs and the at least 1 VSAQ from these 3 chapters. We have to get it. Okay. So in that case, how to go with the most important SAQs from the chapter 1, that is the transportation in plants. So in that, the first question here comes. That's the define and explain water potential. So in this, what is meant by water potential? Even you can write on your own. Okay. So what is meant by water potential? The definition we need to write. And what is the equation? And in which solutions we can see this? And after that, what is the water potential? The common and the highest water potential, where we can see if we have written that, damn sure at any cost we have to get 4 marks. If any spelling mistakes are there, then the sentence formation is not proper, then you will get 3 marks. So here handwriting and grammar plays a major role in my subject in second year. In first year, we will ignore grammar. It's not that we are blind enough. Okay. We are just giving a chance for you to rectify your drawbacks. So if you have not done, you have to face the situations like this. That is the supply exams. Okay. So sorry to say this, but this is the fact. No one will accept. That's the different one. So first we will go with the first SAQ from the first chapter. That is the define and explain water potential. What is meant by water potential? What you know, first of all, and what we are saying. Okay. The the difference between the chemical potential of water in a solution and compared to the pure water is called as the water potential. Okay, the difference between the chemical composition of the water in the solution, and compared with the pure water is called as the water potential. Okay, so this water potential is represented with a letter psi. PSI psi. Here P silent. Okay, so with the water potential is represented with this symbol called as psi, and the pure water is having the greatest water potential as 0. Pure water potential is 0. Pure water potential is 0. This is the greatest value what we can say in the water potential itself. And the water potential is determined with the two components in it. That is the solute potential and the pressure potential. Because when we are saying a solution means solution is made up of the solute molecules, isn't it? So how much solute molecules are there and what is the pressure that is applied for them to dissolve? That's the one, the complete water potential. Okay, so the water potential is having its components as the solute potential, and pressure potential. So the equation what we can write for the water potential is psi W is equals to psi S plus psi P. Okay, psi W is equals to psi S plus psi P. That is water potential is equals to solute potential plus pressure potential. Okay, so the greatest water potential, water concentration, then the kinetic energy is more for the water. Okay, the greater concentration of water in a system, that means only water molecules are more in a system, then the greater the water potential kinetic energy. Okay, greater the kinetic energy of the water and greater is its water potential. Okay, water potential means movement of the water molecules. That's the simplest one what we can say. How the movement will be measured with the kinetic energy only, now what we are saying. Same thing we are writing over here. When the greater the water concentration in a system, then the water potential is more or kinetic energy of water is more. Okay, so now what I said, the water potential of the pure water is 0, that is the highest one. Okay, when two systems containing water in contact, random movement of water will occur from the higher energy to the lower energy. That is what we can write on your own words. When the water molecules has to move, when the water molecules has to move from one cell to another cell, okay, how it occurs then? From which area to which area? From one cell to another cell. from the higher energy to lower energy, or in another way, what we can say, from high water potential to low water potential. This is also the standard now, where water molecules are more. That's the one what we are saying. The water molecules movement can be seen from the one cell to another cell, from the high energy to the low energy, or else from the high water potential to the low water potential cell. That's the one what we are saying. So it's easy for you to write this answer now. On your own also you can write. So what is water potential? Water potential means the differences between the chemical potential of the water of a solution and to the pure water is called as the water potential. Water potential can be represented with the letter psi, and this is having two components. There is a solid potential, and the pressure potential. Psi W is equals to psi S plus psi P. Okay, and in this, which one is having the solution is having the more water potential, otherwise the pure water. So pure water is always having the more water potential as the zero at the standard atmospheric temperature and the pressure. And this is the one, how can we say that is the when the water molecules, when the high water potential means the water molecules having the purest form, and they can move from one place to another place very fast. That is having the high kinetic energy for them. And in the solution, when the solid molecules are more, then the water molecules number will decreases. So that's the one, water potential will be decreased with the solute molecules that are present in a solution. Okay, and the water molecules will move from the high energy to the low energy, otherwise from the high water potential to the low water potential cell. That's it. So with this, we can wind up with this question. Now comes the second important question from this chapter, that is the plasmolysis. Second important question is plasmolysis. What is meant by plasmolysis? How is it practically useful to us? This is the question. What is meant by plasmolysis? So here you have to give the definition of the plasmolysis, then how it is practically useful to us. That is 2 applications of plasmolysis you need to give at the end. So with that, we can wind up this process of the writing the answers. What is meant by plasmolysis? Here the definition and how the plasmolysis occurs in a plant cell. The procedure also you need to write, then the applications of the plasmolysis, because in the practicals we have already done this plasmolysis for the leaf cells, leaf epidermal cells. If you remember it or not, that I cannot say right now, but we have done. So already we have seen the plasmolysis cells also. There is a resins. Okay, and here what is the plasmolysis? Shrinkage of the protoplast of a cell that occurs when the cell is placed in a hypertonic solution. Okay, shrinkage of the protoplast. Protoplast means along with the plasma membrane, when the cytoplasm starts shrinking, that is called as the protoplast. Protoplast means cytoplasm and plasma membrane. This is called as the protoplast. So the shrinkage of the protoplast occurs when that is placed in a hypertonic solution. That is hypertonic solution. High concentrated solution. Otherwise, when more solute molecules are present in the solution, that is called as the hypertonic solution. Okay, the example, sugar syrup, not the sugar solution, sugar syrup, where only sugar will be present more in number than the water molecules, because sugar syrup is a very thick one. We cannot pour it very easily, isn't it? We need to put the pressure to pour the sugar syrup on any item with the spoon, just like a honey. Okay, in the honey, water molecules are less and the sugar contents are more, na? That is like that. That is a hypertonic solution. Remember, hypertonic solution, that is a high concentration of the solute molecules. Whenever those are present in the solution, that is called as the hypertonic solution. Now, in this, once the cell was placed, then the protoplast starts shrinking. Then with this, what happens? The cell also shows wrinkles on its surface. Shows wrinkles on its surface. That is called as the plasmolized cell, otherwise the plasmolysis. So here, how to say this? When a healthy cell was placed in the hypertonic solution. This is the cell having a clear nucleus and the cytoplasm in it. Dense cytoplasm with all its cell organelles. So no need for us to draw the cell organelles, but we need to draw the plasma membrane. Otherwise, take this only as the this is the plasma membrane and the cytoplasm, and above this is the cell wall. Take it as cell wall. Okay. Now comes with the labeling. This is the cell wall. This is the plasma membrane. And this is the nucleus. And this is cytoplasm. Okay. Now what we are saying, when we place a healthy cell in the hypertonic solution, cell starts shrinking. How the shrinking starts? With the once the protoplast starts shrinking. So from where the shrinking occurs, that's the one what we have to write. So if the diagram is very clear for you, then the writing part will be the clear one. If this is the cell, when this cell was placed in the hypertonic solution, that is a high concentrated sugar solution. Then what happens for this cell? This is the cell wall and the plasma membrane will present like this. Now the first step is for the shrinking of the cytoplasm. Shrinking of the cytoplasm starts from the corners of the cell. From the corners of the cell, the cytoplasm starts shrinking. Then once the cytoplasm starts shrinking and the all the cell organelles will come nearer to one another and the complete water levels will be lost. Okay. And then what is the function of the plasma membrane? Plasma membrane has to surround the cytoplasm. It should not be detached from the cytoplasm. Na? So now the plasma membrane also starts shrinking with and surrounds the cytoplasm. Or else you can draw this one. Like this also. This is a cell and plasma membrane starts shrinking like this. And inside this, it is having a nucleus and very dense cytoplasm now. And last, what happens? The cell wall, what is the function of the cell wall? It needs to surround, otherwise cover, otherwise protect the protoplasm, that is the plasma membrane and its cell organelles, isn't it? So once the cytoplasm is shrinking and like this, okay, it's not like this. Now it's a shrinking and the plasma membrane also started shrinking. Now the cell wall cannot be like this because here completely it's an empty place. So here now the cell wall also shrinks and the dense cytoplasm by the disintegration of all the cell organelles in the cytoplasm. And once the cell wall shrinks and to surround the plasma membrane, it shows wrinkles on its surface. Okay, foldings on the cell wall. With that, we can say cell has been shrinked. This is the shrinkened cell wall. Okay, so with that, we can wind up. So with these 4 diagrams, we can explain the answer very easily. Now we have to use the proper words for this answer. Basic one we said. Okay, so how the shrinking occurs, what happens, what we learned in the first answer. There is a water potential. What we said, the water will move from the higher water potential towards the lower water potential. Otherwise, from the high energy to the low energy, what we said from one cell to another cell. So here also same thing. When a healthy cell was placed in the hypertonic solution, that is a highly concentrated sugar syrup, then in the sugar syrup, water molecules are there or not? No water molecules. That's what I said in the starting also now. It will be, if we have to apply some pressure to pour the sugar syrup, isn't it? Honey also same thing. Same thing what we are saying. In that water molecules are less. That means water potential is less. When water molecules are less, water potential is less in the sugar syrup. So in the healthy cell, the water molecules are more when we compared with the sugar syrup, otherwise the hypertonic solution, what we have taken over here. Okay, then what is the rule of the water molecules? From where to where they have to move? From the high water potential to the low water potential. That means from the cell cytoplasm to the outside. So with this, water was keep on moving from the cell into the outside container. With the cytoplasm shrinkens and the plasma membrane shrinkens and the cell wall shrinks to show the foldings on its outer surface. That like that we will make the resins from the healthy grapes. Grapes does not have the folding skins. It will be somewhat tighten up like this because it is having the water more. When you eat grapes, you feel water is going in, and whenever you are thirsty, water is not there. when you go to in the summer outside, instead of drinking plenty of water, take one handful of grapes, sufficient to give you the energy along with the water. So the thirstiness can be finished, otherwise suppressed for at least 1 hour. So meanwhile, you can get the water bottle and you can have your in between that. If you are having water bottle also, don't drink, because sunstroke may occur. So once you have eaten the grapes, along with the grapes, sugar will go into the body, which nourishes the skin and the blood and gives the energy, because whenever sugar is there, the respiration occurs in our body, then sugar will be splitted to give the energy. That's the one how we will get more energy in summer when we are on roads. Okay, on roads means don't roam here and there. Exams are there, so sit at home and read. No, don't sleep. Haram hai. Okay, so like that we have to do. We know the process, then we can explain, isn't it? So plasmolysis is this one. What is plasmolysis? And explain the process of the plasmolysis and the uses of the plasmolysis. Uses means here we have to say salting of the pickles and preserving for the fishes. Okay, salting of the pickles and preserving fish, meat, and the mushrooms. That is the best example of the plasmolysis. Like that, we can end up, and the diagram is mandatory. Without this diagram, you will get, if you have written the complete answer also, only 3 marks. Where is the diagram? How can you say that the cytoplasm has been shrinking and then the plasma membrane started shrinking from where? When we are saying the theory that from the corners of the cell, cytoplasm starts shrinking, means you need to show with a diagram like this. Cytoplasm starts shrinking from the corners of the cell. Mandatory. When you know the answer, you can draw the diagram. No need to learn it. That's my subject. Without this diagram, the answer does not have the capacity to give 4 out of 4. I won't give. Even in the valuation also, we are having the priorities and the complete pattern, that is the to which how much theory we have to give the marks, and for the definition, for the diagrams, labeling, and here you can give the common labeling. No need the separate labeling for each and every cell, but common labeling. But at the last cell, shrinked cell, you have to write it as plasmolized cell. The word should be the plasmolized cell. Remember this word for the last diagram, that is shrinked cell, what I have shown. That is a plasmolized cell. Okay. Now comes with this, with the another word what we learned with the Psi-P, Psi-S, Psi-W. Same thing. If you put in between your theory in the brackets, that's the full-on marks. Okay. They will close their eyes and they will give you 4 out of 4 marks. So the way how to prepare is the most important one. So in the plasmolized cell, what happens in the plasmolized cell? Water was completely lost. That means the water potential is not at all there. Okay. And the pressure potential becomes 0 in the shrinked cell. Hence, water potential becomes equals to the osmotic potential. Okay. Or solute potential also you can say, isn't it? That is the how many solute molecules are there? Same amount of the water molecules. Then only there is no outflow of water. Otherwise, inflow of water occurs in the cell. That is the both are, when the both are equal, there is no need for us to give, transport the molecules from one cell to another cell. That's the one. So where psi W is equals to psi S. Till that, the water molecules will keep on moving from the healthy cell into the hypertonic solution. That's it. And this plasmolysis is a reversible process, not irreversible. It's a reversible. Again, we can get the healthy cell which is of its same size. Okay, so how we can get it? Once we place the plasmolyzed cell in the, here what we have used, hypertonic na, their opposite one, that is a hypotonic solution. So that the plasmolyzed cell here we have not written, but we can write that also. Okay, deplasmolysis. That is, once we kept the cell, plasmolyzed cell in the hypotonic solution, that is the normal water. Then where water potential is more than the plasmolyzed cell, then the water will be traveling from the outside into the cell. Then the cell becomes turgid again. That is the deplasmolysis occurs. Deplasmolysis occurs. I'm using the words which you can use it in the normal way. I'm not using the specific words as per this answer. Okay, so that it's easy for you to write. If you have written with the normal English also, it's acceptable for this answer. We don't want only the hypertonic solution. Not like that. Whatever you know, if you express in the normal English in a proper manner, that is also more than sufficient. Okay, that's the one what we have to write over here in the plasmolysis. And why this type of why we are making the salting of the pickles and the preserving the fish, meat and the mushrooms in the salt. So with this we can prevent the germination of the microbes. On the like that we can preserve them for years together now. Sometimes the dry fishes we can preserve for more than 2 years. There is no fungal infection for them, no bacterial infection. So that's the one what we are saying over here for the plasmolysis. Okay, now comes the third important question from this chapter. That is the, how does ascent of sap occurs in the tall trees? How does ascent of sap occurs in the tall trees? This is the question now. Okay. So from this chapter, we can expect the now one question. Okay. In the supply exams, because this chapter is the easiest chapter and you can write in your own words also sometimes. So that for the example is the ascent of sap. Ascent of sap means, first of all, when the water molecules are moving from the roots into the tip of the stem. That means to the tip of the stem, when the water molecules are moving from the soil, that is by the absorption of the roots and pumping through the xylem now. That is nothing but the ascent of sap. Okay, if you know this, then we can say this answer also very easily. See, in tall trees, ascent of sap occurs through the cohesion and the tension and the transpiration. Cohesion, tension and the transpirational pull. Okay, so how this occurs? When the water molecules has to be moved from the soil molecules to the tip of the stem, means here also you can see my action. I am doing like this, that means a pressure is taking up. Otherwise, you can feel the pressure is applied by my fingers, isn't it? Whenever I'm holding a thing means I'm holding with the pressure and pulling from this hand to this hand. Like that, the pressure also works out to suck the water, take the water from the soil molecules and pump to the upper parts of the plant body. That's the one. So for this, there is a theory that is called as the cohesion tension theory. Cohesion tension means this, not the tension what we are having by seeing the results, otherwise by expecting the date of the results. That's not the tension here. Here tension means how they are going to be ruptured to the walls and the energy is going to be released to make their movement in a safer way and the fastest way. That is the one what we can say as the tension. Okay, cohesion tension theory. So this cohesion tension theory is having the 3 factors in it. Okay, it is having the 3 factors in it. That is the cohesion, adhesion, and the transpirational pull. Cohesion, adhesion, and the transpirational pull. The first one is the cohesion. Cohesion means mutual attraction of water molecules is called as the cohesion. Mutual attraction of the water molecules, because always water molecules will be having some attraction. There is a positive and the negative poles, isn't it? So always water will not be present in the form of the H2O. What we'll write is in the H2O, but it is present in the form of H plus and OH minus ions. Whenever that is present like this, it will be having an attraction between the molecules, between the ions, isn't it? Positive and the negative ions are attracted, what we know. So there will not be any attraction between the same H plus and the OH minus ions which were formed from the same water molecule. Always we will fight with our siblings, not with the outside persons. No, not like that, not like that harsh. We won't fight. Why? Because those are our siblings. Whatever we will say, that can be acceptable with them. Same thing. Here, there is no attraction between the H plus and the OH minus. The H plus ions will be attracted towards the OH minus ions, which are formed by another water molecule. That's the one. Water will keep on moving. They're like that only. It makes the water molecule again by combining. Again, it separates. Again, it will combine with another H plus ions of this OH minus ions with another OH plus ions. Like that, they will keep on moving. So water will continuously move. How? This is the way. Okay. So here also we are saying the same thing. Cohesion means attraction between the water molecules is called as the cohesion. Now comes the adhesion. Adhesion means attraction between the water molecules to the inner walls of the inner surfaces of the trachere elements. Trachere elements are nothing but the xylem vessels. Okay, so we can say the xylem cells also. If you don't know this trachere word, okay, T-R-A-C-H-E-A-R-Y, trachere. If you don't know this spelling, Then also you can write in a simpler manner as the xylem presence or xylem cells. Very simple. Go with the simple ones, but don't make everything as a complicated mess. Don't mess up. Okay. If you don't know the word, accept that I don't know. It's the best method. And practice the alternate word which suits in the sentence. Don't go with the kiddish words again. Okay. With the water transporting tissue. Don't go with the kiddish sentences. If you are going to write with the kiddish sentences, I am saying we won't give you the full marks. Why should we give? You are in second year. Should know how to use the words, isn't it? So use those proper words over here. At least right now, start learning. There is no chance left out for you right now. You have to use the proper words. So if you just recollect your faculty's words, at least what you feel them as they are giving as a boring lecture. In this concept, how can we show you the practical things? No one can show you. You need to assume that. So we are giving that type of assumption. We are showing the assumption. And you need to go and use the proper words, then only the theory will have the stuff in a veg puff. Where if that stuffing was not there, how can you call it as a veg puff? You will go and fight with the person, with the bakery person. Same thing over here. You have written just like a dustbin full. Okay. But in that, the proper words are not there. After taking out the ultra microscope also, we cannot able to find out the proper words in your answer. You cannot get the 2 marks also. So use the proper words, If you feel that, you remember your lecturer's words. They used to say that use this word, compulsory. Why? We are insisting you to do. This is the way to write the answer. No option left out. So in the adhesion means attraction of water molecules to the tertiary elements or to the xylem cells. That's now up to you which word you are going to use. At least if you learn the word without any spelling mistake, you can able to write after 10 days. From now onward, it is the 1st June. From the 12th June, we are having the supply exams. Mine is on the 14th, isn't it? 12th is the second language. 13th is the first language. Then comes botany. That also in the afternoon. So, maintain the health and don't roam here and there on the roads. At least now, sit like a good child and start preparing. Go through all the important questions, what I said till now, so that damn sure you have to get 45. This is a minimum number, what I am saying. I need more than this only. This is whatever you feel. Order only. That's it. No request right now. So that is the adhesion. Now comes the transpirational pull. What is meant by transpiration? That's the one what we have to know here also. Transpiration means movement of the loss of water molecules through the stomatal apparatus from the leaf lamina is called as the transpiration. Now, the transpirational pull means driving force for upward movement of water. When the leaf lamina, leaf surface, lost water molecules by the transpiration process, then it puts the pressure on the lower cells to supply the water, to compensate the deficit of the water on the surface of the leaf itself, in the cells of the leaf, on the surface of the leaf. Any sentence you can use. Okay. So with that, from one cell to another cell, from the dorsal side of the leaf, the pressure will be keep on going till the root hair, so that the root hairs will absorb water and pump in the upward direction to the respected cell, which was deficient of the water molecules, deficit of the water molecules. To that cell, water will be supplied by the xylem cells. So that is with the transpiration only that pressure was applied on the root hairs. So it is whenever with that force, water was taken up and pumped in the upward, that is called as the transpirational pull. Okay. So driving force for upward movement of water. That's the one what we can say as the cohesion adhesion theory. Okay. So in this, what happens now in the transpirational pull and in the complete process, during this process requires water, and water is needed for the plant body for doing which process? Major one, there is a photosynthesis. So for doing the photosynthesis, plant needs water, isn't it? So the water will be supplied through the xylem vessels from the root to the leaf veins. Okay, to the leaf through the veins, and this by this the needed water will be supplied. Just now what I said, everything we need to write. Okay. Now once why this is happening, why the water molecules are moving to the leaf? Because water evaporates through the stomata, not evaporate. It's a transpiration. Here the blunder came. It's not the evaporate, it's the transpiration. Just now I said transpiration, loss of water from the leaf lamina through stomatal apparatus. That is the transpiration. So as the water it transport, the transpiration of water occurs through the stomata. So a thin film of water loss can be seen in the cells, and the water will be continuously keep on losing from the cells. Okay. So which results in pulling off water from the other molecules, other cells which are present at on the sides, otherwise at the bottom of the same cell. And like this, the pressure will be continued till the root hairs, and root hairs will start absorbing, because this is because of the low concentration of the water vapor in the atmosphere. So why the water is transpirated into the outside weather? Because the weather is having the dry air. When the dry air is means no moisture, then the water will be keep on evaporating from the surface of any organism. Even on our body, why we will get more sweat? To maintain the body temperature, na? So this transpiration also occurs to maintain the body temperature of the plant body. Okay. So for that sake only, cannot say we are saying. So the transpiration occurs in the when the dry atmosphere is there, where the moist water molecules are very less in the air. Then because of the more heat, the transpiration will be more from the upper surface of the plant body. So to compensate the water loss, water will be absorbed more from the soil and gives to the upper parts of the plant body. That's the cohesion tension theory. That's the essence of sap. Okay. Now 10 minutes left out. So in this 10 minutes, we can complete one more answer. Very small one, but we can easily go through that. What now I said, transpiration and photosynthesis, a compromise. Okay, and same thing we can say the differences between the transpiration and the advantages and disadvantages of the transpiration and the photosynthesis. Okay, so in that also we can say the same thing, and in the photosynthesis and the transpiration. So first of all, if you say the photosynthesis is the food preparation process that occurs only in the green plants by taking up the water from the soil and carbon dioxide from the outside atmosphere, and they will, in the presence of sunlight, they'll prepare their own food material. That is the photosynthesis. So in the photosynthesis, there is no loss of water or nothing, isn't it? So in the photosynthesis, what they will do? They will prepare the complex substances from the simple substance. That is a carbon dioxide, which is a simple substance, water, which is a very simple substance. They make the complex substance as the C6H12O6. So from the simple substances, by combining the simple substances, they make the complex substances. For doing this, they need some sort of the energy, because they need to absorb carbon dioxide. They need the energy over there. Okay, and the water is needed for the photosynthesis. Okay, by the plant body only water is supplied to the photosynthesis, for the photosynthesis by the xylem cells. And for this movement of the water, transpiration is the most important one in the plant body. Through the transpiration, the pressure will be applied on the tip of the root, and they will keep on taking up the water molecules from the soil for the further preparation of the food material by photosynthesis. Okay, and the transport it with this, the minerals and the ions will transport from the soil to the different parts of the plant, so the growth can be seen faster. When the transpiration occurs, then the growth can be seen in the faster. And with this, why the transpiration occurs, just now I said, it maintains its body temperature. To maintain the body temperature, transpiration is a mandatory stream in the plant body, so that the body this is by the losing the water in the form of water vapor. In the form of water vapor, water loss occurs in the form of water vapor. Okay, sometimes it cools the leaf surfaces to 10 to 15 degrees centigrade, that much cooler. So whenever we go through the whenever on roads, whenever we are going on the two-wheelers, if you go near a big tree, you feel that cool breeze is coming, just like an AC, more than an AC actually, because it's a healthy air. Okay, that's with that, for this transpiration only, it is giving the cool breeze near the surface itself. So it maintains, by this one, it maintains the shape and structure of the plant body. By the transpiration, the cells can maintain their shape and structure. Okay, keep them as the turgid cells. That means that is a very big, having the same size, turgid cells. And when the transpiration is more in the plant body, then it leads to the plasmolysis, loss of water molecules, and it starts the shrinking of the cell. So this is the one minus point, that is a negative concept by the transpiration process itself. Whereas for the photosynthesis is limited with the available of the water molecules, and it will be completely depends on the transpiration process. Okay, so with this we can say the transpiration and photosynthesis are a mandatory stream that has to be occurred in the plant body simultaneously. So with this we end up for today's session, and keep tuned to the same channel, same time for the more FAQs for the next class. Okay. Okay, right. Thank you, students.